Welcome to Muse and Tech Podcast. Hello and welcome to Muse in Tech. This podcast is a space where dreams meet action, and we are here to show and inspire you to move the life you truly want. It's never too late, it's always just the right time. And whenever you are ready, we are here to support you. I'm your host, Delia, and today's guest is someone who embodies both intelligence and impact. Veronica is data science consultant with a strong background in mathematics and data analytics, and she's passionate about using technology to solve the real-world problems in meaningful ways. But her work doesn't stop here. Veronica is also tutors students in mathematics and deeply committed to empowering young people, especially girls, and underrepresented groups to build confidence and excel in this subject. She also serves as a mentorship officer at UCAN, Professional and Personal Development for Black Women organization, where she supports the career growth for young Black women in the corporate world. I'm so excited to have you here today, and welcome to Muse in Tech Podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here myself. Can't wait to share my experience and see what you think.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And let's start with the general question. What's something people usually don't know about you?
I think there's probably a couple that people don't know about me. Firstly, I'm a big music fan. So music is a big part of my life, actually. I play the keyboard and I usually try to find some interactions between data science and music. I've written a few pieces myself. So I'm of Ghanaian background and I've been able to write a few songs in my local language, which was quite fascinating. I'm currently looking into how I can merge both data science and music together, and especially in the age of AI. So hopefully I can come across something exciting. And another one that people don't actually know is I'm really into aviation. So I actually wanted to become a pilot at one point. I don't know what happened, but I tried to stay in the aviation field. So I've been joining this gliding club. I'm not sure if you know what gliding is, but a glide is like a small aircraft. It doesn't have an engine. It just powers through the sky based on the thermals in the sky, essentially. It's quite exciting. Although it's not exactly what I want to do, I'm hoping to be able to actually get a PPL, personal private license, at one point, and hopefully be able to fly on the side as a hobby. It's quite expensive, but yeah, that's my goal.
Oh my God, I I feel safe on the ground, you know. I'm that kind of person.
It can be a bit scary up for sure, definitely. Yeah.
How are you managing? You know, for example, you still have to overcome that fear. How are you dealing with this?
To be honest, when I first started doing it, when you get launched up in the sky, there's like the negative G's in your stomach. I couldn't, but then I found a hack that if I hold my breath and just suck in my stomach, it helps to make me feel a bit better. And I think with practice and over time, I kind of got over it. I still get a bit scared occasionally because I am a bit scared of heights, but yeah, I'm still learning on the spot.
Oh my God, I'm really admire your this part. It's like about all part. I believe usually you don't meet people
No.
with this kind of combination. So it's really fascinating. Okay, so let's back to the question. And how did your career um started?
Well, growing up, I've always enjoyed maths, and I think that was probably one of the subjects I was quite good in school. I remember in year 12, so before I went to university, I had a work experience in accountancy because I wanted to study accountancy at university. I didn't enjoy that experience. It was quite boring for me, to be honest. I had 1 week of experience, and I think the guy that I was working with saw that I didn't really enjoy it, and he actually recommended for me to do something a bit more generic that could take me to different spaces because I wasn't sure what to change to. So I decided to do mathematics at university, and during my third year, I went to Paris for a year. I did the study abroad with the Erasmus program, and that was such an eye-opening experience because the course was taught in French. In computer science, I knew a bit of French, but I wasn't too confident. That was probably one of the most challenging experiences I've had, but it was quite good actually. It opened my mind to the world of tech, and I was able to learn a bit of programming. So when I came back, I decided to look into data science and how that could merge into my mathematics skills, and that's basically how it started. And then I found myself in tech somehow.
Okay, so what made you want to get into tech industry according, I don't know, the job or position? How you get
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good question, because in my second year at university, I had to start thinking about what I wanted to do, because mathematics is quite a big and broad subject. Some people thought, okay, maybe get into teaching. Some people suggested, maybe, yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of people actually
usually
said
when you
teaching.
think about
Yeah.
mathematics, it's like teacher. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
a lot of people recommended that, and I came across data science. I didn't actually know what that was. All I knew was that it combined programming and mathematics, so that kind of drew my attention a bit, and I researched into it, and I think I decided that I was going to go forward with that. And essentially, I wanted to do a master's in it, and luckily for me, the university that I applied for, they had a bursary to support underrepresented groups, especially women that were underrepresented. So I got a bursary to study my master's in data science, which was such an amazing experience, to be honest. And that's why I started gliding, because the university offered it as a club. And yeah, I had that exposure to gliding there.
amazing. It sounds truly amazing. It looks like you was prepared for this thing, correct?
Well, it looks like it, yeah.
It looks like that the guidance was somewhere deep, and you just landed in the perfect place.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so somehow I would like to, how is it, if you start with underrepresented groups already in university, so how after university, how you scale it up, or how what kind of positions you started, how you get in that tech industry in the practical way, not in the how
Yeah,
it
of course. That's a very good question. I think one thing that I always am thankful for. So in 2022, just before I finished my masters, there was this thing that was recently launched called 10,000 Black Interns within the UK, and they essentially help young Black people like myself to get into different internship positions, because sometimes it can be a bit difficult. And I was privileged enough to work with Imperial College. There was like NHS Healthcare Trust for 2 months as a healthcare data scientist. And honestly, I think that was probably the initiation of my career. Having that experience really helped me with my current role. I was able to talk about it there, and I also used the skills that I gained from that experience. So I think having those sort of programs for underrepresented groups really open doors in so many ways that people probably don't think about or know about. So yeah, these underrepresented group communities are so powerful and help people to get into places they never imagined themselves getting into. Yeah, so that's definitely a testimony on my side for 10,000 Black interns for sure.
It's amazing, and I totally, how is it, agree that the power is with the community or with the all together, the mission based people who believe in something. And I
Hmm.
believe you alone you can't do anything, but with the
No,
group and with the group who is believing and who wants to reach something, this is the greatest power, I believe so. So
absolutely.
how you get in your current position, for example, because you mentioned that it's a bit separately, correct?
Yeah, it's separate. So this one actually, again, I think it just happened very out of the blue. So I was about to finish my master's. I started applying for random graduate opportunities, and most of them were in the UK. A lot of the graduate scheme starts in September, and I didn't want to start in September because my master's ended in August. I wanted a bit of time to travel for a few months before I start working. So I came across this role. That's the only role I actually applied for, and they invited me to an assessment center. I remember I had a video interview. I think I messed up at one point, and I thought that was it, but they still got back to me. They invited me to the final assessment center, and I was away. I had a trip, so I couldn't make it, and they rescheduled it for another time. I was like, wow, I was very impressed, to be honest. So it made me want to put in more effort, which I did. And I had the assessment center. They called me back the next day, and yeah, I guess I got the job. That was literally the only job I applied for, and it's quite shocking when I think about it, because I didn't have any backup in case this one fell through. So yeah, here I am today, and still in the same role, which I'm enjoying very much for sure.
What is the how I say it conclusion probably from this situation? Actually, your journey it's not by everything. I don't know
Mm,
how or accidentally. It's not everything. It sounds very
no.
in the flow
Yeah.
status, you know. You just in the certain ways you just how you say it. You get what you deserved, and it's not just out of the sky something
No.
random. It's just in the normal way you get what you deserve. But from this situation, what is conclusion or what is a resume of how you get this?
Yeah. I think sometimes we undermine, I guess, good grades because sometimes a lot of people talk about how, it's not just about the grades you get in school, it's all about the experience, which I 100% agree with. But sometimes it does matter about the grades you get. For example, I think in when you finish your secondary education, you get your GCSE education grades, which I did pretty well in. And I think from that moment, it opened certain doors that unfortunately people that didn't get those grades didn't get that opportunity. So I think, especially for people that are growing up, usually we don't really think too much about the grades and we think that our experience is what matters. But I think both of them do matter. You just need to balance both. So yes, of course, the experience helped me, but I think my grades also ultimately really helped me, being able to get the top grades open certain doors that I didn't know existed. So yeah, in conclusion, grades matter a lot and open doors for you.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm good student as well usually, but I did not think that this is the most important thing.
Mm,
I believe that everything is have to come from inside. Even you are not a good student or you don't like to study too much. Maybe you have inside active energy which you can act
definitely.
more than study. How is it? As you go, you will learn, but maybe
Yep.
you prefer that method than study and then do something. Anyway, it's not right way or
No, there
wrong
isn't.
way.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it's different for each individual as
Yeah.
well, definitely. Like you said, some people are so confident, they probably don't need to worry so much about the grades, whereas some people are they don't have the confidence to be able to speak about their work. So sometimes their grades speak for them.
Yeah, and usually I don't think so that the contrast or the, for example, black and white, is
Yeah.
the right way. It's the
No,
balance. Supposed to be
exactly.
everywhere the happy balance that you
Yep.
have to take the trip before you enter the new job position, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is the key life moments or realization help you to get where are you today?
So this is quite an interesting question. I was having a reflection the other day and something came into my mind that which I completely forgotten about. So when I decided that I didn't like the accountancy, we had to apply for university and I remember very specific, I think I still have the exact scene in my mind. In our mathematics class, our teacher was just going around asking people what courses they wanted to study at university. And at this point, I decided I didn't want to do accountancy. So I said mathematics. And her reaction wasn't really what I expected. I think she said something along the lines of she doesn't think it will be a good option because math at university is hard, which I 100% understood because I had quite a few experiences from people saying it was quite difficult. But it sounded very negative to me. It was a bit disheartening, to be honest, to think that rather than encouraging, it was more of sort of, think of do something else that might be easier rather than doing mathematics. But I still went ahead and did it anyway, and I think the rest is history. But yeah, I think that moment definitely stood out for sure. Just thinking about what would have happened if I hadn't studied it. I wonder what trajectory I would be on now. To be honest, it really made me think.
I'm just thinking sometimes why people think that we are interesting in their opinion when we're not asking.
Very true. Very, very true. Well, I guess because they're the teacher, so usually the opinions are quite, it matters quite a lot.
Yeah, just we need to. I remember, for example, okay, my English was never good. It was
Ah,
never perfect. But I remember when I was in school and my English teacher, she didn't give me opportunity
mhm.
to enter the exam, English language exam. She didn't give me the opportunity because she thought that I'm not capable to pass
Mm,
that. Well, then I thought, this is her opinion, and
exactly.
that is my feeling is a bit different. I know that I'm not was not the best pupil probably in the school, but then I just simple changed the school
Well,
and I passed my exam quite well. So this is the thing that you have to listen your inner
absolutely. Your
call.
instincts. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Especially if you know that you're good at, you might not be the best student at it, like you said, but if you know you enjoy it, I think enjoying it is good enough to want to pursue it.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, let's go to another part. Okay, so
Okay.
we all have self doubts or imposter syndrome. Have you ever faced, and what kind of feelings you get from that, and what kind of output probably, or how you overcome it?
That's quite an interesting question. Imposter syndrome is something we're always talking about at work. We've had quite a few presentations. I think I've even delivered one myself, which is quite ironic because you speak about these topics, but then you still face it yourself.
Yeah.
It's quite ironic. Sometimes, as consultants, we might get put on projects, and for example, in my last project, I didn't feel very confident that, oh, it sounds very difficult. Am I going to be able to do it? When you get inside it, it's completely different. You learn on a job, you find out that actually I'm more than capable. It's just that sometimes, these thoughts makes you think you might not be technical enough, or you might not be senior enough to be able to conduct a project very well. But actually, we're very, very capable. I think it all starts with just saying yes to certain things. Imposter syndrome can really prevent you from saying yes to things. And I think that's a promise I've made to myself this year, just to say yes to as many opportunities as possible. Like coming across your podcast, for example, just saying yes to things that may be
I
out
was
of
just in the right time, correct?
no, literally, yeah. Saying things, especially things that may be make you a bit uncomfortable, but just do it anyway because it really does help build confidence for sure.
Okay, how is it? I'm totally agree with this, and I
Uh-huh.
believe that we all have different ways to overcome it, but we have to find that on ourselves,
Exactly.
on our own. It's a lot of algorithms
Yeah,
which would help, for example. But for example,
definitely.
I remember that I was identified that other have, for example, self doubts or imposter syndrome on certain tasks, but it's so delicate. And for example, turns out that I have on different I don't know, different task or different situation the same thing, the self doubts, and for example the imposter syndrome
Yeah,
when I have to release something. But
yeah,
it's so delicate that sometimes you're not able to identify immediately.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I was just gonna say as well, and sometimes it's just that self-doubt, it can start very small. And I think it depends on what other people say to us as well. It can either make it worse or even make it better. So I guess even though we shouldn't care too much what other people think, but sometimes what people say really can contribute to imposter syndrome and self-doubt for sure.
And for example, the last thing which I realized that we just would like to that other people would like us. And we so afraid to say or be uncomfortable for
Yep,
them.
yep, yep.
Why?
No, definitely.
I was like, I'm not saying that we have to be badass, for example,
No,
or
no, no.
but I'm just saying that we are worrying too much. We have too many people on the planet, and we don't need to be the levelest person in the world because the real it's not coming with the comfortable people around you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, what helped you to keep moving through the difficult times? Because we all have it in different stages. I know it.
Yeah. I think with this, it probably different parts. So my faith is a big part, for example, just keeping in touch with my spiritual side and keeping my faith on top and having communities. I think we briefly mentioned it earlier on, but having communities that you can relate to can really help. So for example, the WCAN that I'm part of, there's so many communities for example, for black women, for women, and we had the Women in Data flagship event in March 2 months ago, which was such an amazing experience, seeing thousands of women come together in data in one space and just talk about data was such a brilliant space to be in. Um,
Amazing.
there's girls in data for younger girls growing up. There's so many that I joined. For example, there's black girls in data as well. There's so many communities that I think exist to help people feel like they need to belong. I know sometimes it might not be enough, but it's definitely a start for sure. Having these communities can help. In attending events, you can meet other people that actually they might be in the same similar situation as you or have been there before, and take a few tips from them. So I think these can all help definitely overcome self doubt and just believing in yourself yourself ultimately, because if you don't believe in yourself, who else would? Yeah, it's quite
Yeah, nobody else
self-explanatory.
will.
Yeah,
You have to be your best friend. But I think that
exactly.
that's the hardest thing, to say nice things.
Yeah,
Usually it's easy for to say nice things to others,
then
but
to
for
yourself,
yourself,
exactly.
usually it's like, oh my God, you're
Yep,
that and that and that. You
criticizing
didn't do that.
yourself.
It's like
Yeah,
for a woman who just started, what's the
yeah.
very first step you would recommend personally?
And personally, I would definitely recommend the communities for sure as the first step. Just test a few different ones out and see where you feel a bit more comfortable and where you think you belong. And for somebody wanting to start in tech, I'd probably say just start broadly, because I think people usually associate tech with just, for example, coding. There's so much more to it than that. There's the non-technical side, there's the technical side, product owners, product managers, there's actual software engineers, there's back-end, there's so many things. To start broadly and sort of take different tests to see where your skills align. I think that helps. So if you like, challenging problems, if you like facing customers, maybe this might be for you. There's so many resources online. So once you start broadly, you can start narrowing it down a bit more and then be able to find out, okay, maybe software engineering might be for me, or maybe being a scrum master or product owner or something might be best for me. I think just start broad and then narrow it down, and talk to people within those communities can definitely help to figure out where to get started, because it can be a bit daunting. And then yeah, there's free resources online everywhere.
Everywhere. I think we have too much information
Yeah,
now. Just
that's the
need to
problem.
filter out.
Absolutely.
Do you think that 15 years ago, programming or building the website and doing that now, it's same or different? Or you have to be too technical, or you can, how say it, be not that much technical? Because this is the
It's
main afraid.
Yeah, I think it's so different now. Like, there's so many AI models that can literally do the coding for you. So now some people don't even feel that they need to code anymore. They can literally just go on, let's say, Claude AI and just tell it to build an app, and it can guide you through it. You can tell it to build it for you, or you can tell it to describe the steps and then you put in the effort yourself. It just depends. It's definitely different from 15 years ago, because I know back then I wasn't working then, but I know they had to start from scratch and actually type everything themselves. But with the advancements in AI, things are so different now.
It is. I think the only thing you have to wish to get the life you truly want, and how's it wish or curious to learn something that brings you on that way. It's like, and you don't have to be too technical.
Exactly.
I didn't finish programming, but I know how to build a website because it's driven down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good with that. Okay, well, I know how to create the ads. It's quite technical, but it's possible.
Definitely.
I didn't born with the skill set.
No, I don't think anybody is, to be honest.
Okay, according you, what kind of opportunities you would see to make money online? For example, who is staying at home, how they can find that opportunity?
I think it'll be really useful to sort of assess what your skills are and what you're good in. So, for example, before I started working, I started offering tutoring during university. Actually, way before I even finished university, I realized that actually I'm good at maths, and some people saw that, and I just decided to package it essentially and just did sell it to people. So, for example, I would approach people that I know, they've got children that they want to invest in their kids. So I just offer it to them, and they'll be more than happy to buy onto my services. And I deliver tutoring services. I still do it up to today, to be honest. And because not only am I making a difference, but it's also a way of generating extra income to support yourself. And there's so many different websites as well. I think like Fiverr, Upwork, they're all freelancing resources for you to be able to just sell your skills. So I think it's really good to identify where you can really make a difference. And I know this day and age as well, a lot of people are making content online. So content creation is like a big one. And a lot of people are making a lot of money online. I want to try it out myself. I'm not. I think I'll start looking into it. I've started building something on Instagram, and yeah, I think there's a potential to definitely make money online through the skills you have, and for a lot more people that are a bit more extroverted. Yeah, public speaking are ways of people to make money as well. You know, building your brand. There's so many different ways. So I think just identifying your skill that you have and then knowing how to you can package it and sell it to people is definitely the way to go forward. I'd say.
This is the quiet process. The thing is that you always feel what you have to accept that you always feel uncomfortable. It's like if you feel too comfortable, I'm not saying that you have to sacrifice
Yeah,
all your, calmness, but when you feel uncomfortable, you always learn something. And if you feel
definitely.
comfortable, it means that you in that day didn't learn anything. Even
Yep.
today, I started podcast with the tree intro. Yeah, so sometimes it's happening. Okay, another thing which I'm curious, what mindset shift made you to make the biggest difference in your growth?
Mindset shift. I think just sort of I used to care so much what other people think. Even posting on LinkedIn, I'd just be so cautious and just be worried, like, oh, what if I'm doing too much? What if people think? What if the people think this? I think that's the biggest mindset shift I've had. Not that I don't care anymore. I still occasionally care, but it's definitely changed a lot more. It's like it almost seems like you're asking for permission from somebody or people online, but you don't owe anybody anything. You don't need to ask for permission. That was the biggest shift for me for sure. Just stop thinking so much about what people might think, because some people may not even be thinking that way. I read something somewhere that people don't really care about what you're doing. You think people are looking at you all the time, but that's not the case. Everybody's so focused on themselves. They don't pay much attention to the little mistakes you might make, for example. So I think just, yeah, forgetting about what people might think and just doing it, basically. Just do it. If you have something you really want to do, just do it. There's so many regrets. I know people regret not starting things. They wish they started. So yeah, just do it.
Let's do it like a Nike.
Like, exactly.
I like a Nike mission-based.
No, honestly, yeah.
I totally agree. Just do it, and later on, you will figure out.
Exactly. You can
And
cry about it later if you need to, or just celebrate, whichever it is.
sometimes, for example, for me, it helps. What I would do if I have the last weeks to be alive on this earth.
Mm, yeah,
It's not
that's a
that
big one.
I want to suicide myself, but this is a bit gives you kind of line what you didn't do yet or
Yeah,
what you didn't implement yet.
absolutely.
The time is very valuable. So what you would do if you have the week,
That's a very
for
good
example,
question.
alive? It is like gives me a bit okay, Delia. It's
Yeah.
time to wake up. I love this question, and I know that somebody would say that it's a bit cheesy, but I love it. It's very very cute, and I think we all have in the certain period certain ourself 1.0, 2.0, and probably later on 3.0 version of ourselves. So,
Yep.
what would be the advice for your younger self?
For my younger self, probably tell myself that you won't always be shy, because growing up, I think there was a point. I think I've had different stages. When you're younger, you're quite confident, and then it gets a certain stage where I think my confidence just dipped and disappeared, and then it built back again. So I think I'll probably tell myself that I will be very confident, and I will tell myself to just keep writing the goals. So I've always been having goals for myself as far as long as I can remember. I remember one of the biggest goals I wanted to was to buy a house, and I did at 24 all by myself. I didn't ask for help from anybody. I've just been saving. I think my younger self would be so proud if they saw that actually happening way earlier than we imagined, because I thought it would be happening later in life, but it happened earlier in life. So I think I'd probably tell my younger self to keep writing those goals down and keep working on them. Yeah.
Amazing. It's a truly nice story and how I say it. I'm not saying that everything was too nice or
Mm,
something was too I don't know candy pops and
mm,
lollipops way to just guide you in the certain stage now. I love to hear about your passion, people what you don't know about your music and
yeah.
aviation, and it's like the goals and how you just reach the stage is something empowering others, I believe.
Yeah, and I think it's quite interesting because there's other younger people that sometimes you don't notice people look at you, but I guess people do look at you, especially those that are younger. And I think with some of the kids that I teach, sometimes they really say some very cute stuff. You know, they look up to me. I'm just like, whoa, this is quite a big pressure, to be honest, because you don't want to mess up for them. But yeah, it's quite encouraging as well that I guess they have somebody to look up to, because I don't think I had anybody sort of that I looked up to when I was growing up. I don't think I had that, but it's nice. It's a nice feeling that some people may have that, and other people around them as well, not just me. There's so many people doing wonderful stuff out there, and we all have people to look up to. I think that really helps.
Why you didn't have any authorities when you grow up?
I think it just, especially in tech, for example, I didn't know anybody around me that worked in tech, like family members or friends or anything, or even my parents' friends. I don't think any of them had that experience. A lot of them were immigrants that, you know, migrated and started doing any jobs they could do, so cleaning and whatnot. So we couldn't find any of those people around us. And I think our generation, you know, we've been very privileged to be growing up in different environments from our parents and their parents. So I think, yeah, we've had way better experiences than they had.
Just tell me about your maybe activities, about your organization, how people can find you. Do you have any events, or how people can see you, talk with you, and how's it maybe connect with you?
Yeah. In terms of connection, LinkedIn for sure. Veronica Annor. I think you probably see me if you look at my face. You might recognize me. It says data science consultant, and I actually sometimes host events that I've not started posting about yet, but I will be for the people in my community to get into tech, because a lot of people want to get into tech and not really sure how to do that. So I recently created an Instagram page called Veronica's Data Path, and that's basically where I share everything. And it's quite interesting to see people engaging in it. And I'm actually launching a work experience program for the summer, because a lot of kids stay at home and they don't have much to do. They just play games the whole summer, and some of my friends do that and their kids. So I just had that initiative to launch that. So I'll be launching that this weekend actually. It's called the Experience Pathway. I'll be posting about it, and it's essentially just to get them to start building the skills they need. So if they want to get into tech, for example, I've got roles that would simulate what I would actually do in real life, but they're doing that offline, maybe 2 hours a week. It's not too demanding for them, but still build up the skills they need and
Yep.
start building their CVs. Yeah, I think it's really important to have that. I don't think I had any of these experiences growing up. It would have probably made a big difference, I think. So if they can start as early as possible, it helps.
Can I put my daughter to your list?
Sure thing. Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, of course, we will share the links. We will share all information which Veronica will provide to us. And if you could give one message to women starting in tech today, what would it be?
Start now. Like, don't wait. Start now, because the tech industry is changing every single day. Every time I go on social media, there's a new AI model, there's a new upgrade, there's a new update. There's so many new things happening. So don't wait. Start now, because it's only going to get even more advanced day by day. So start now. Look online. Look for coaches if you can. Ask for people within your community. Join different communities. Talk to them. Find something. Just start now, essentially.
Yeah. It's important, totally. It doesn't matter how you will start, just
Yeah.
start.
Doing some research today is still starting, to be honest. It could be small little actions every day, and over time, it will add up for sure.
It is. Thank you so much, Veronica. It was truly wonderful to have with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it's been such an amazing experience, and I look forward to seeing the other podcasts as well.
I love it. I love it. For the rest of us, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. Or even better, invite a friend who might need some inspiration. And don't forget to follow Muse in Tech for more real stories, practical tips, and encouragement. We are here to support you in tech journey. Keep believing, keep taking the micro steps. Start today, keep building, and keep shining your light. And until next time, my beautiful souls. Thanks for listening, beautiful souls. Don't forget to like, follow, and share, and visit us at musintech.com.